and welcome everyone. It is launch day for the Voices of the 21st Century book, Bold, Brave, and Brilliant Women Who Make a Difference. I'm Laura Rubenstein, and I'm one of the featured authors in the book. And we have many of our authors. There are 50 in total here with us today. Everybody share your books. Yay!
Yay!
You can find this book. We are headed to #1 bestseller. We are celebrating our bestseller in advance on Amazon. It's available today for 99 cents. And if it matters to you, voices of women matter to you, and you want to make a statement and let us know that you care, that women do make a difference in your life, go to Amazon, type in this name, Voices of the 21st Century, look for this beautiful cover, and join us in our mission. It's 99 cents to make that known, that voices matter. So I want you to hear from these women today. And the first woman that I'd love for you to hear from is Gail Watson. She is the founder of Women Speakers Association, the publisher of the book, and really the force behind the Voices of the 21st Century. Hi, Gail.
Hi, I'm so excited to be right here, surrounded with all these amazing women who have just made this book so complete. And it's been just a really high energy day for all of us. I know social media is going crazy. And I wanted to share with everyone here who's watching. You too have been a big part of it. Thank you right out of the gate right now, just for supporting us and helping us reach our bestseller status. It's truly an honor to introduce you to this book. What inspired this book was really around the fact that it all actually originated about close to 3 years ago when I was helping my son do research on women in the early 1900s. And what was really fascinating was, as I did that research, I had found that, I could find out what women did, but didn't really get to know them. And that was and part of my role in Women Speakers Association is I meet with absolutely every single member that comes through our doors and joins us as a community to really get to know her and who she is and what she does and all the different things that she balances in her life and how she accomplishes everything that she does. And it came to me that was really important for people to get to know us, not just the celebrities out there who we all get to know and see into their lives, but us people, us women entrepreneurs who are out there with our gifted message to be able to bring it forth. So this Voices of the 21st Century really comes from you, our members, who have these brilliant messages. And when we take a look at this book, the common thread that runs through it is that you're all here to inspire and motivate others. And one thing I found particularly moving about this book is this book truly stirs up the dialogue. I mean, you challenge the status quo out there, and you are bringing to light once dark topics. And I want to really thank you for that and appreciate you for that, for bringing these topics forth so that we can start to talk about it in today's world. So this is a fantastic book because of each one of these ladies that you see here today who have been bold, brave, because it takes a lot of guts to share some of these stories, and they're brilliant, and they are truly making a difference in this world. And I want to thank each and every one of them for sharing your voice.
Thank you so much, Gail. I know I sat down to read the book and I read a couple of stories. And as I was telling the women who are here today, when I put down the book, just after a couple of stories, I felt different. Something in my body was completely different. And I realized the resilience that these women are sharing, that each of you authors are sharing, the healing, the profound circumstances you faced with such courage, touched and moved my soul. So thank you for that. So I want to hear from each of you. And I thought I'd go over to Charmaine Hammond and have you share a little bit about, well, tell us your title of your chapter and what do you want people to take away from reading it?
Thank you so much. My chapter is Stepping Out, Stepping In, and Stepping Up. So it talks about my journey of going from being in a stable career, a government job, working as a correctional officer in jails, to then opening my own business, and then now stepping into projects and movements that are making the world a better place and making a difference. So I want people to take away 3 key learnings that you have to read the chapter to find out the key learnings, but they all start with the letter C.
Cool. Another C word, right?
Another C word.
Yay, everybody. And Charmaine, thank you for that brilliant
Thank
chapter.
you.
And I can't wait to dive into that more. And so let's also, and by the way, you can find it on Amazon today for 99 cents. That's Voices of the 21st Century. You can go to voicesofthe21stcenturybook.com as well. The link to buy it is there, and it'll take you to get that 99-cent Kindle. And why is it 99 cents today? Well, it's not only 99 cents because we want to bring you this book and make it a bestseller today, which is a huge goal, but we want you to put your vote in that women's voices matter. And your 99 cents makes a difference in that way. So let's go over to one of our other leadership team members, Tracy Eman, who has also published a book through Women Speakers Association and is in this book as well.
Thanks so much, Laura. I'm so happy to be here. And yes, I'm actually a thrice published author in less than 11 months, which is crazy. WSA Publishing has allowed me to do this. And in this particular chapter, I'm talking about how your story can turn into a movement and how, when you share your story, you can change your life and you can change the lives of others that are reading it. So I'm so excited to be a part of this incredible group.
And do you want to give us a teaser into your chapter?
Sure. So I'm talking about how the different steps to take a message that you put out there and how you can turn it into a movement. So how, people will start to say, okay, wait a second, that's something that more people need to learn about, or they need to, be inspired and they want to share it with more people. And my chapter kind of talks about how I didn't really see it as a movement, but as I was beginning to get interviewed, it was.
Wow. What a great realization. Thank you. Create a movement, get inspired, Tracy. If Tracy can do it, we can all do it, right? Tracy's amazing, and so are each of us. So also, we had behind the scenes working with us another leadership team member, Deb Coleman. I'd love for you to share. You were so instrumental in the production of this book and the quality of the book. You can share a little bit about that, and then your chapter, what you want women and men to take away.
Thanks so much, Laura. And I too have been published. This is my second time. I was in the first Voices book that we did, and it's really such an honor to be with all of you and sharing a chapter of my story. And I did help a little behind the scenes with our editing team and helping to collect the stories and go through and organize and help proofread. So it was really an honor to work with everyone that way too. And as Laura shared, to get a glimpse into everyone's chapter and be so moved by both the women I already knew and those I was just getting to know, by how vulnerable you were in sharing your truths. And that's a little bit what my chapter is about. It's called Core Purpose, the tiniest Matryoshka doll. I do not recommend putting a word in your title that you have to check the pronunciation of and the spelling repeatedly, but I'm managing. And those are those little Russian nesting dolls. And my story is about the core purpose. And it's really the story about my mom, who has undergone a lot of health and medical challenges. And yet her core, the essence of who she is, underneath all the layers, within the doll, within the doll, within the doll, is who she really is. And that is still present for all of us that have been touched by her. And that is part of what I do in my business, is help myself and others to get in touch with that core essence of who we are and bring that out with our stories in our businesses, as speakers, because that's how people really learn what we're all about and with the piece that they can really emotionally connect to. So I hope that everyone takes away that that is inside of them. And the more that we get in touch with that and practice conveying that and sharing that with the world, the more people have the ability to connect with us and learn more.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Deb, for your heart and your background work on the editing. It was great. There are 25 of us here today. That's half of the authors represented. So we're going to go a little bit quicker through everyone, but I want to get to Mary Wong, who's here from the airport. Come on in and join us and let us know what your chapter is about, what you want people to take away.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can. Thank you.
Yes, good. I wasn't sure. My chapter is a story of what happened to me. It was my personal journey and how not speaking out about my personal journey stopped me from being myself. And what I work in now that I have spoken out about what's happened and I've been able to heal from it, what I work in now is helping other people to speak out and speak their truth and be real, be honest, because once you get to that point, that's when you really get that opportunity to live your soul journey. It's called Find Your Soul Song and Join the Chorus. And I say the music here is divine.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing your work and having the courage. And you know what? I get your messages. You don't have to have the courage. You do it anyway, and the courage will find you, right? So thank you so
Absolutely.
much for that. I really appreciate it. All right, let's keep going because we have so many beautiful authors here today. How about Deborah, Isis, share with us your truth and what's your chapter title and what you want women to walk away with.
Hi. So my chapter title is Divine Awakening Within. So it is my story, my personal journey to waking up to that truth, to realize that we're all divinely guided, we're all connected to this divine creative spirit, divine intelligence, and that's who we really are. And the story was sort of given to me, and it's about waking up to that. And I think everybody that reads the chapter will get their own thing from it, and whatever they need to wake up to who they really are, their divine creative spirit and who they really are, and just realize, whoever they are and whatever their message is, it's really important. And that we all really matter, and just to go out there in the world and be who we really came here to be. And within that, I use my intuition to tap into imagination, and that guides me. And there's little snippets in there about using your intuition to tap into divine creative spirit.
Beautiful. Thank you, Deborah. And thank you for awakening all of us with your chapter. Appreciate it so much. And let's go over to Dee Dee. Hi, Dee Dee. And share with us your chapter and what you want women to take away.
Hi, Laura. Thank you so much. This is so exciting, y'all. I just can't even breathe. I can't stand it. My chapter, like Charmaine's, there are 3 takeaways to it. The name of the chapter is Old Dog, New Tricks, because I'm an old dog. And, we all know life is full of adversity, and it was that adversity that propelled me to leave South Florida and land in Colorado. And I had to learn a whole lot of new tricks. And I guess my message is, in the words of C.S. Lewis, you are never too old to dream new dreams or to set new goals. And in my case, learn a few new tricks. So I hope that you'll enjoy the book and that you'll read the chapter and you'll walk away with a little something.
Woohoo! I know I did. So thank you, Dee Dee, for your inspiring positivity. And let's go over to Dr. Serena Pellaroyo. Why don't you share with us about what inspired you to write the book? What do we want women to take away?
Well, I'm excited to be around so many fascinating women. And my chapter is also about creating a movement of wise women on fire who will create a new world. And I am fascinated by the passion of women my age, I'm 64, and women in midlife and post-midlife who are reinventing their lives. And their lives in such a way that they clean up all their baggage so that they're in service to the world. So I wanted to talk about that and my experience as an immigrant woman and other immigrant women that also were my mentors.
Beautiful. Another example of a beautiful voice of the 21st century. And I know you pointed out that we have over 55, maybe 57 reviews, 4.9 out of 5-star reviews already today. So on our launch day, we've got them. That's Voices of the 21st Century on Amazon. We'd love for you to support this, not just because we want this status, but because we want status for all women. So let's keep going around, because these authors are, you can just hear, I hear your hearts. I really do. And I also want to shout out to those of you watching on Facebook. Thank you for being with us. We'll wave, everybody wave to people on Facebook. Hi. We've got Divine Awakening Within watching. Janine Rivers is joining in, and Anita Russell. Some of our other authors who can't be live with us here have joined us. And Tessa, thank you for being here. And thank you for your hearts and your love, Ebony, Lakeisha, and we've got, who else has done us? Oh, hearts from Maggie Spence and Mary Mora and Mel Rosamond and Tracy. So great. Everyone, thank you for being here. I'll come back and acknowledge a few more of you. Keep the love going. Feel free to proliferate this with your friends. So I wanted to hear now from Desiree. Thank you for being an author here. Tell us about your chapter, what you want women to walk away with, because it's truly powerful.
Awesome. So my chapter is Walking the Line of Mental Health, and I think that says it all. It really discusses the different holistic practices as well as the modern, I would say, traditional type of medical practices that I've used to get through a change in my career, a divorce, and a whole shakeup of my entire life. What I want people to walk away with is the belief that they can handle their own journey the way that works for them.
Beautiful, powerful, inspiring, and thank you so much for your heart in the book. Appreciate you. Elaine Voci, come on. You are the next author up to share. What is your chapter title? And tell us why you wrote it, what you want women and men to take away.
Says unmute. Yeah.
You are unmuted.
Great, thank you. I was complimenting you, saying you are a great facilitator, and I appreciate you. My title is Your Life Can Light the Way, and it is my story of the profound influence of my Italian immigrant grandparents. All four of them came to America at the turn of the century, and they really helped shape my values, and in particular, values of compassion, kindness, and generosity. Those three in particular they played a big part in my own world, my own experiences, and also the direction of my career path over the years. I think they helped lead me to my life's work as a writer, as a life coach, and as a celebrant. One of the messages that I hope that everyone will take from reading my chapter is to learn to really deeply trust your intuition. I think it's one of our premier mentors. It wants what is best for us, and in that it is helping to serve what's best for the world. So I hope people will enjoy reading that chapter and all the other chapters and move forward in their own lives with passion and trusting their intuition.
Thank you so much. I just got newsflash. We got to #1 in biographies in business, everybody. Woo! According to Karen Strauss. Thank you. We are #1 bestseller. Yoo-hoo! I am so excited. Yay! Let's all wave our books out. #1, #1. Woo! It's great. Thank you. Okay. And Eva, thank you for that. Eva's up next. Sorry. Lane, that was awesome. Eva Haberbrand, thank you for being here. Thank you for being one of our authors. Tell us what your chapter title is and what you want women and men to walk away with.
There I am. Hi. I think that one of the most exciting things about this book is the fact that you get to share your stories. I've been sharing, I was in a car accident in 2003, ended up losing my right arm. And, you know, you get to share your story. You get to be an inspiration. I've been fortunate enough to talk to many different groups about it. And deciding that whatever happens in your life, it's your choice. It is not your circumstances that may influence you, but your attitude is your choice and what you can do with it. So hopefully, as we move on through this process, that you learn that you need to be able to make the choices yourself, how you react to it, and what you can get out of it, take away, and share. That's an important part.
Thank you, Ava. And that's so inspiring. Wow, what you've been through and the courage and the message you have. So thank you for being one of our voices of the 21st century. Yeah, you're welcome. I'd like to invite now Felicia Rickards to talk to us about your chapter and what you want people to take away.
Hi, everyone. I'm Felicia. My chapter is Before the Veil. And the chapter is really subtitled, Don't Just Plan Your Wedding, Prepare for Your Marriage. And where that title came from is I've been passionate for many, many years about speaking to couples and working with couples that spend on average $35,000 to prepare for a wedding. And that's on the fluff, the cake, the flowers, the dress, the venue, the choir, the band. And my take on it is if we siphon some of that money and took some time to sit down and create a blueprint as a couple, and really decided, you know, what do I like? What do I enjoy? What is a deal breaker for me? What do we really want to get out of this union? I think we can spend a lot more time in creating a future that we can prepare for a lot more than we do now. So I wanted to share some of that passion in my chapter. And because life really is about options, right? It's options, is opportunities, is the path you take and the choices you make. And the more you have some idea of mutually how you're going to battle this mystery called life, the less trapped you feel when you run into a scenario that's stressful. So I really wanted to share that passion with everybody.
Thank you so much for sharing that message. It's not one we hear a lot either. So, but it's like a duh, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So great. Thanks, Felicia. And I'd like to go over now to Francine Tone again. We are celebrating the bestseller status, and you are welcome to buy the Kindle book today for 99 cents of Voices of the 21st Century. Bold, brave, and brilliant women who make a difference. You will be touched, moved, and inspired in many of the authors are here with us today sharing about their chapter. So Francine, you're up. What do you want people to take away from your chapter, and what's the title?
Hi, everyone. Years old when my life was on the decline, when terrible things were happening to me, which I talk about in my story. And it's the notion that I think that the book cover spoke to me so much because it hit my story, is that here's this diamond, and it's that little tiny, tiny, tiny point in the diamond that touches the water and ripples throughout and all the way outside of yourself into your future. And that's what my monkey bars was. At 5 years old, without realizing it, I took one tiny action, which rippled through the rest of my life and took me from the journey that I was on, which would have taken me into becoming a prostitute, a drug addict, or an alcoholic. It took me into a successful life. I'm not saying it was a clear path. It was a rocky path, but it was one tiny action. And the message I want women to take from my story is this: the words bold and brave and brilliant are not talking about big, massive actions. It's one tiny, tiny action you can take that can change your future.
Woohoo! Little actions do make a difference, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's profoundly important to consciously walk through life. And I love the inspiration you're giving us, Francine. Thank you. So I wanted to go over to Irma Perron. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for your heart. And would you share your title of your book and what you want people, and your book, your chapter, and what you would love people to walk away with?
Well, sure. My chapter is called Life Happens. And what I want to share is that when Gail Watson, our president, interviewed me, and she said she gets to know every single person in Women Speakers Association, she really does, because I had no intention of talking about me and what happened through my journey. And before I could even talk about what my plan was, she said, "That's your story." You know, she kept peeling that onion. So I think what I want people to get from that is that we do all have a story. I mean, I never thought about the story and the ups and the downs and the sadness and the happiness and all the different things. So life does happen. You have to read the chapter to get the rest of it. But thank you.
All right. I can't wait to see what happens. That's great. I want to go over to Trilby Johnson next and have you share a little bit. Tell us the title of your chapter and what you want people to take away. Thanks, Trilby.
And thanks to all the amazing ladies who are here. It's really an honor for me. I'm down in New Zealand, far, far away from most of you, but I'm connected in this link that this vision of women speaking out. My chapter is Antidote to Racism. So Antidote to Racism. An underlying message is self-love. From my own journey, being born in South Africa, having lived in 3 different countries, there's certain traits that come through, and my chapter's talking about the insidiousness of racism and having the awareness to notice it within ourselves and around us, and how to go about changing that. I think it's really important, women as nurturers, that we embrace this in our role, that we teach each other to support each other. It's really, really important, regardless of our culture and our ethnicity and our beliefs, because ultimately we're all here to collaborate with each other. So I'm really excited, and I'm thrilled that the book's already at #1 in so many places. I think this shows the desire for women to hear and share and support each other, and I encourage everyone to use their voice. Thanks so much for this opportunity.
Oh, thank you, Trilby, for using your voice to address such a tough topic. And that takes a lot of courage, and I'm inspired and totally inspired. JB Lloyd, you're up next. I would love to hear your voice. What is your chapter title, and tell us what you want people to take away today from it.
My chapter title is actually Your Backstory Leads to Your Purpose. And that's what all of us have said. Whatever behind us pushes us forward. It is the thing that provokes. It's the thing that moves us. It's the thing that shifts us. It's the thing that causes us through pain and agony and also adversity. It causes us to be the people that we are. So no one should ever be ashamed. We should all be brave and bold with our story. And it's such a privilege to be a part of the group.
Yes, I'm like, go, ready to. Thank you, JB. Appreciate you so much. And we're going to hear, I'm just going to take another quick break to everybody to say, wave and say how excited you are. Yay! For our voices of the 21st century, bold, brave, and brilliant women who make a difference. And I wanted to give a shout out to Maggie Spence for saying woohoo to all of us. And we've got Laura Simpson here, and I know a couple of Maggie Spence, and very active here. I can only see a few of them. Thanks, Charmaine, for also being on the live and on the Facebook page, all over it. Janine Rivers, who's one of our authors here. Barry Newman, Susan Thomas, that she couldn't be here with us, but she is one of the great authors in the book too. And there are so many more. Laura Simonson, thank you. Linda Purnell, Lexis Schomer, you're also on here. So let's hear from more. Yeah, you want to know who else is in the book? So we've got Missy Jenna. Missy Jenna, would you like to share your title and what you're inspired to have women take away and men walk away with when they read?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. What an exciting day. It's serendipitous on so many levels because on this day in 2001, I had my first assignment with the Vancouver School District. And the very next day, something happened that shook the world and shook the way that I looked at education. It was 9/11. And I wondered what is not happening in schools that could cause this kind of destruction on humanity. And over the next 18 years, I've been so committed and focused on what can we do to support children to thrive in learning. And it is just surreal to be able to have a chapter in this book. The title is called Learning to Understand, and it's all about challenging the way that we approach education to honor the child, to honor their gifts, to insert a new way of communication through conversation that reduces the stress in learning. And I'm just tickled pink to hear that we've hit a bestseller in women in business category. It's a category I never envisioned myself to ever be in. But as so many authors have said here, when there's a purpose, when you respond to your call, when you take the chance, you take the risk, you are going to get bumped and bruised and broken, but you will get up and keep going because your commitment is to something greater than yourself.
Amen, woman. And we are there. We are at that #1 bestseller, but keep it going and vote with your 99 cents. We have these 24 hours to support women and to let every person know that women's voices matter. And this is a truly inspiring book. If you haven't heard, half of the authors already share their story. There's more to come, so stay tuned. I wanted to bring on with us Karen Strauss, who has actually been our, rock in the publishing of the whole book, and she did the last book too and is a veteran publisher. So Karen, please say hi. Tell us about your journey with the book.
Oh, hi everybody. I'm so honored to be here. I'm so happy for all of you and for all of us for getting #1 new release in a couple of categories and #1 bestseller. It's really, really an amazing achievement. I cannot begin to tell you how hard it is these days to even get to #5 on the Amazon bestseller list. So huge achievement, huge kudos. And I'm just thrilled to have helped lead the efforts. There we are. That's right. There we are. Cool.
We got the official banner, everyone. And I just...
Woohoo! Very cool. So anyway, thank you, Laura, for the opportunity to speak in front of the group. And I love you all, and let's keep it going.
Yes, let's keep it going. And one of the people who have been one of the key authors keeping it going and helping responding to questions and just being a brilliant voice of the 21st century is Lorianne Vaughn Speaks. And I'd love for you to share your chapter title, what you want people to walk away with. Welcome, Lorianne.
Thank you so much. Yes, my chapter is in this gig economy. It's never too late. Reinvention at 60. Because a couple of years ago, at the ripe old age of 60, I was laid off. And I had to put my big girl panties on and start my own company because corporate America didn't seem to want a 60-year-old. But what I want you to know from this book and all of our chapters, it's never too late to be successful. Just go for it.
Yes. So we're here for you. That's what we do as women. We have your back. We're here to remind you exactly what you said, Lorianne. So thank you. I'd like to also invite Lynn Robinson to share about your chapter and what you want people to walk away from with your chapter.
Thank you, Laura. The name of the chapter is You're More Than the Roles You Play. And I really would like women to walk away with the knowing deep inside that we are truly more than the roles we play. Sometimes we get so attached to our titles and our roles, and then life changes. We have changes, perhaps it's in marriage, we get divorced, or our children leave home, or any number of changes because life is changes. And if I'm attached to that role or to that title, then I'll lose my sense of self. So this is really about sharing with people, how do you connect to that true core essence so you can take that core essence with you everywhere you go? So hopefully people will walk away just knowing that they are much, much more than what they ever dreamed they were.
Yes. There's more to you than you give yourself credit for. And thank you for the reminder. It's a beautiful one. Natasha, I'd love for you to share a little bit here. You've been a key critical team player here on our WSA team. By the way, book cover design is Natasha Clausen's, and so much of the design behind our promotions on social media. So Natasha, thank you for your gift, your talent, your beauty that you bring for the world. Tell us a little bit about your title of your chapter and what you want people to walk away with.
Perfect. Thank you so much. It was really an honor to do the cover. I've gotten great feedback on it, and I was just honored to be able to do it for all of you. My chapter is My Life, My Terms, and it asks the question if we should tough it out and be miserable at work or take a risk and change jobs. It's my story of bold career choices for a life of joy, and if you're feeling stuck, I hope this story provides the inspiration you need to make a change.
Well said, well done, and thank you for, the introspection you ask us to do here. Thank you. That's great. So Pamela Jay is our next author up. Pamela, tell us your title of your book and your chapter in the book, and what do you want people to walk away with?
Thank you so much. My chapter is called Daring to Lead, and I finally dared to lead myself, actually just this time last year. Decided that I would launch an entrepreneurial effort again, and I empower women who are more introverted by nature to step out and lead. And I am the queen of hiding. I actually went and lived in a treehouse in the mountains of North Carolina in my 60s and stayed almost 3 years. And I did a lot of studying about the nature of feminine leadership. And I have found that those of us who are more introverted by nature are excellent, excellent leaders and understand naturally a lot of things about collaboration and cooperation. And so it's a beautiful time to be someone who has these qualities. And so I help elevate those. And I have a sisterhood called the She Dares to Lead Sisterhood. And it is an initiative that is growing like crazy, and I'm very excited to be a part of this project, helping women become more capable.
Helping women become more owning of their leadership abilities and taking on those leadership roles is truly, revolutionary thinking. So, or evolutionary thinking, shall I say. It's great. Thank you so much, Pamela, for your work. All right, how about Sandra? Sandy, why don't you join us here and tell us your title and what your chapter is meant to give people.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. What a thrilling opportunity. I feel so blessed that the word voices came to me. This is my word for this whole year about sharing my voice. My story is actually called Goodbye, Little Girl. For some of us, we have a little girl inside of us, and I had a hidden secret that I had kept for over 30 some years, that when I awakened to my real truth and who I wasn't leading my authentic life. There was a big part of me that was buried. And from that evolution, or I got your word now going, evolution, revolution, the reflection from the inside out, I've really learned to step and to engage in myself and love myself and be able to help others now. My purpose is a passionate crusader to help women own and live their stories, because sometimes we don't do that. And a fundamental belief, if one thing people can walk away with, is that truly the power is within you to change your perspective. You change your life and step into that space. And so I've been encouraged to do that. And I also too have started a nonprofit, Women's Collaborative Hub, which really supports women in their growth. So I really want to thank all of you for, being a part of this. I've met so many wonderful, great friends, and I just really enjoyed my time. And I hope to do it again. So I
agree. This is just an amazing group of women whose hearts are there for you. And so that's kind of what my chapter has, just a snippet of mine in there. Thank you, Sandra. Shauna Pelton, love to hear about your chapter title and what are you giving the world in it?
Oh, thank you. So my chapter is titled Our Crisis is a Birth, and it is about the experience of going through turmoil. Everyone goes through some big challenge in life. There's not one of us who won't have a challenge, but what we aren't necessarily taught is that these challenges are for us. They're happening from us, and they're not happening to us. We're not victims of our challenges. In fact, we are creators. And if we step into our power and take the experience and choose who we are in that moment, like who are we becoming from this? What is emerging from us as a result of our challenge? We'll see how we can actually live in a more empowered way. And I believe, and the reason why I'm doing the work that I do, is that when the world is empowered to know themselves, to really embody their potential, I think this will be the secret to world peace. You know, I think that so many people think that heaven is a place that we go after we leave the pain, but the truth is heaven is what we create through it. And that is my mission in life. And I'm working towards helping people find their own personal power. And so this book really is helping me to share that message even more. And it's been such an honor to really be a part of these amazing, this group of women. And so, and then what's exciting is this is also leading to, I'm about to launch my upcoming podcast, the Quantum Shift podcast. And so it's really about helping people this way create their new selves.
Woohoo! Well, thanks for leading the way to heaven on earth. I love it. Thank you. Tammy, I'd love to hear your chapter, about your chapter. What are you embodying and giving to people of the world with the Voices book?
Certainly, Laura, thank you. My chapter is titled You Never Know Who's Watching You. And that kind of sounds like a horror chapter, but it's really not. The challenge that I want to leave readers with is just exactly that. You never know who's watching you. You never know whose hero you may be. And so the challenge is your behavior worth being someone's hero? And it's really about leadership. And it's about a young angel who touched and changed my life.
Oh, beautiful. I can't wait to dive into that. Thank you.
Laura, I'd like to also challenge everyone that's watching us to buy one and give one. That if we are here, women supporting each other, buy your book on Kindle, but get a hard, soft copy book and give one. And so that's something that we plan to do with my company, Leadership, Education, and Development, is to get some of these books in women's hands who maybe not have access to them financially or just via internet, but really challenge folks, buy one, give one.
That's a beautiful idea. Thank you so much, Tammy. I love your heart. Love it, love it, love it. I'd like to now go back to Alexis Schomer. Would you share your chapter title and what you're wanting people to take away from it?
Yes, absolutely. So my chapter title is called It's Never Too Early to Pursue Your Business, Hacks for Studentpreneurs. My message is to start young, start early, because the older you get, the more responsibilities you get. So I started my own business when I was in college, and I was very resourceful. I did not have a lot of money, but it forced me to look at other resources I had, such as free things that the school provided, like printing, or reaching out to my professors, who are pretty much like free consultants. So my message is to do just that. Be very resourceful, look around, because people often overlook a lot of the free resources around them. And my one takeaway is altering your mindset to think more like an entrepreneur. And there's a 3-step challenge that I share at the end of my chapter. The first step of the challenge is to write down all of the problems you face, from things that annoy you, things that frustrate you, waiting in a long line, not being able to find something. And then step 2 is to think of solutions for all those problems. And then step 3 is to pick the one that you are the most passionate about and move forward with it. So you'll see there'll be a shift in mindset from seeing problems everywhere to actually seeing opportunities and ideas. And that's what being an entrepreneur is about, thinking of ways to solve problems rather than just complaining about things that annoy you. So start young, start early, shift that mindset, and see opportunities instead of problems. And then you'll really see the world in a different light.
Thank you for being the shining example of that. So what I love about this book, and what our viewers probably have noticed, is that we have a range of age here. This is not age relevant. This is timeless, whether you're a student or you're nearing retirement or you're retired or you're somewhere in between. This book is saying, age doesn't matter. You matter. And your voice matters. And I think we haven't heard yet from Anita Russell. And so let's go over to Anita. Anita, I'd love to hear your chapter title and what should women expect, and men also, the readers of this book, expect to take away.
Can you hear me?
We can now, yes.
Okay, excellent. So there are three things that really kind of crop up in my story, and it's this idea of grief, depression, and guilt. The title of my chapter is Pangs of Guilt. So it really, what I'm describing is a particular incident where I really came to understand the role that guilt played in my life in terms of me making decisions. So the book or the chapter is really kind of connected to a lot of things that have already been said about really getting to know yourself from the inside out. And I had to go deep within myself to really understand what was the impetus behind the guilt that I was feeling and why I was making decisions. And ultimately, I ended up in a situation where I made a decision that was very harmful to me from an emotional perspective, as well as from a physical perspective. So it's really all about being completely in tune to who you are as a human being, and understanding and being able to recognize when you're in a place or situation that is not where you should be. So that's essentially what it's about.
Well, thanks for being so vulnerable and authentic with us, knowing that, you're human, we're human, we all make mistakes, and we can recover, and resilience is possible. So thank you, Anita, for that. And Barbara, I don't think we've heard from Barbara yet, have we? Can you share your title of your book and what you want people to take away of your chapter?
My chapter title is Love Spoken Here. And it is my experience of love in the world from when I was born to growing up, going through some very difficult circumstances, visiting Rwanda, which had experienced a civil war, genocide, many years earlier, and recognizing that, just as someone else mentioned, there are places on earth that can be a slice of heaven. And that is what we experienced when we visited Rwanda. And, how can that be? It's about love. It's about love. So although my chapter title is Love Spoken Here, the work that I do is actually technology coaching. And I've been challenged by friends saying, "Oh, I'd love to buy the ebook or the Kindle, but I don't have a Kindle reader." Well, if you look at the video I posted earlier today, you don't need a Kindle. You can go to Amazon, buy it. This is my iPad. You can read it on your iPhone. You can read an ebook on your computer, any smartphone, any tablet. So for me, that was a breakthrough, because my goal is to connect people, with the other women in this group. I've been able to connect with love, with all the students I used to teach in the classroom, connect with love to a point where sometimes they'd come up to the front of the classroom and hug me while tears were running down my face. That's love. That's love. And my point is, we can all do this. It just takes small efforts, as someone else said, just takes small efforts to move forward, and that will move us toward heaven on earth, or peace on earth.
And you know that you're not alone. I love that as well. Like you're there for people technology wise. We have so many coaches here and people creating movements. And so it's about coming together. That's what we did as a group. I'm putting us all on screen here. And I know if there's anyone who didn't get to share, please raise your hand. And it was great to hear from all of you. About your book. For those of you watching today, this book, Voices of the 21st Century, is epic. It is evolutionary. It is inspiring. I love the idea to buy one, give one. Why not? BYGY. BYGO, buy one, BOGO, BOGO, buy one, give one, BYGO, BOGO. It's not buy one, get one, it's buy one, give one. There you go. Yes. So thank you for this. This has been a great celebration. Why don't you all come off mute and just give a nice, like, yes, we did it. Yes. Woo! This is celebrating number one bestseller and beyond. Bestseller and beyond. And just so I didn't get to share my chapter. My chapter is called "When Women Gather, the World Changes."
Oh,
yeah. So we're
yes.
gathering, we're changing the world just because of our gathering. I tell an interesting story about that. It is one of my feminine power cards, and the chapter is a forthcoming, it's a chapter from my forthcoming book on feminine power. So thank you, women, for inspiring me along to do that. It's been such a great journey, and I know we've only just begun connecting and collaborating. And the latest stats on the page, I know we are number one. I know we hit number one in entrepreneurship on the Kindle store, women in business. Last I checked, we were number two, biographies and business professionals, number one. This is that was a few minutes ago. I'm refreshing because it changes minute to minute. So go on to Amazon and check the stats. Yeah, so that's what I have right now. Amazon refreshes probably, I don't know, Karen, every hour. Yeah, every hour. I'm reading your. So in another hour, we may be number one in 3 categories, right? Yes.
May I add one more thing?
Yes.
Along with buy one, give one, give a physical book, you can actually order ebooks for other people. I have some friends who are not technologically savvy who want to buy the book, and when I saw a link for buy for others, I checked it out. So okay, suppose I'm buying 10 books for these 10 friends. I just supply their email addresses and they get the book. Then I can teach them how to read it.
And if you want to get the book for someone and you need someone to teach them, Barbara will help you. That's great.
You can figure it out. You can figure it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Gail, is there any final words on our celebration here today of bestseller that you wanted to share?
Of course, just, I want to really celebrate each and every one of you. And just so everybody watching really understands that these ladies have come together about over 6 months ago. And some we came not knowing one another. We had to really dig deep into ourselves to find our stories, refine our stories, get it out there. We've been in training. We've been doing lots and lots of hard work behind the scenes because this is how passionate these women here are today for sharing their stories. I've read each and every one of these stories probably 2 or 3 times. I've interviewed everybody here. I know who these ladies are. I was just so moved hearing you today. It was, I was getting shivers throughout the call. Tears. I mean, it's just been absolutely beautiful. We have a website. If anybody listening wants to get to know more of these authors, and you know what, connect with them because they are real people, real business owners, and they're wanting to help you. You can go to Voices of the 21st Century book.com. You'll see all their wonderful pictures up there and their bio and their contact information. So please check it out. Share this video with the world. We're talking about world peace on this call. We're talking about so many great topics. Thank you all. I love each and every one of you. Thank you.
And thanks for everyone for being there on Facebook. We'll be back with another edition of WSA TV next week, as we always are with Women Speakers Association. And don't forget, if you have a voice, a message, Women Speakers Association is a great community of women who are getting the message out, and you can go to joinwsa.com. Bye for now.
Bye.